Yo, what up, a-holes? Thank you for tuning into the Holistic A-Hole podcast. My name is Eric Levi, and I'm the Holistic A-Hole. How the heck are you doing today? Whatever day it is you're listening to this, I hope you're having a great day. I'm having a great day. Today, since you're tuning into the podcast, on the podcast, we're going to talk about vegan YouTubers. Ugh. Yes. A little foreshadowing for what's to come in this podcast. We're going to talk about vegan YouTubers and just kind of like how, the whole scene is just a little too full of itself. And quite frankly, I don't think it does any good for the vegan movement. So we'll get into all that. But before we do, I want to say welcome to all the new listeners to the podcast. Thank you for finding the podcast, however you found the podcast. But, do us both a favor. Just hit the subscribe button right there on your phone. That way, since you're here and you obviously love the podcast so far, this will pop right into your iTunes feed or your Apple Podcast feed or your Stitcher feed or your Castbox feed or any of the feeds that you're working off of right now. You'll get instant access every time this podcast drops, which is twice a week. So how about that? Twice a week, you get to celebrate and get really excited about a new Holistic A-Hole podcast. That's right. It's incredible. So welcome aboard, and to all the previous listeners, thank you for tuning back in here. Your support means the world to me. And while you're sitting here listening and you're like, man, I cannot get enough of this Holistic A-Hole, where else can we find this thing? Well, you can find me on YouTube, Holistic A-Hole. I got a whole Holistic A-Hole channel, and I'm dropping a new video in the next day or two. And there's more videos to come. New videos getting posted every week. And then find me on Twitter at Holistic A-Hole. Instagram, Holistic_A_hole. And while you're on Instagram, take a screenshot of this podcast playing on your phone and throw it on your Instagram feed or, whatever. Twitter feed or story, whatever. And then go on Twitter. Leave it on your Twitter feed. Okay. Enough whoring myself out. Let me talk about vegan YouTube. So, there was a time where I was into vegan YouTube. And, it was really when I first thought of this whole Holistic A-Hole thing. And I just wanted to start a YouTube channel. I didn't really know what that meant. I was just like, man, I guess I'll just post videos. A friend of mine was like, you should post videos on YouTube of you doing your weird holistic stuff, like making kombucha and salads and all this stuff, And I was like, that's not a bad idea, actually. I enjoy making videos, and so I started. Hey, all right, we're back. Sorry about that. I got to update my system here. It is not foolproof. We just got disconnected there somehow. But either way, I got into YouTube, and I started making YouTube videos, and it was Holistic A-Hole, and the videos were fun to make, for the most part. I enjoy it. And I'm making new videos, like I said. But I didn't really know, like, what to do. I was like, all right, well, I started, like, kind of listening to some of the people online who teach you how to do YouTube, some of the main, kind of YouTube online teachers, I guess they're called. They give tips and stuff about starting your page on YouTube. There's a lot of it out there. And I started kind of getting into the vegan YouTube scene. And it was just amazing to me to see just how catty and how dumb the whole scene is. It's like, it'd be like, the funny thing is like the Mormon page or the Jehovah's Witness page on YouTube isn't even close to as pushy as the vegan YouTube scene. I mean, it's vicious. These people, they talk trash about one another. If somebody says anything even slightly anti-vegan, it's a huge story. It's a huge deal. Everybody weighs in on everybody's business. And they do make videos about, like, you know, I'm using they in kind of like this, you know, bigger sense. There's a lot of them. You know, maybe we should say like the statistical majority are kind of like this, but then there's the outliers who are like legit people, and even the people who I'm talking about here, who I think are, again, kind of a little full of themselves, you know, a little kind of, you know, abrasive and rude with the whole thing. They do make good videos for sure. Like, a lot of them do make good videos with good content and good, you know, informational. I've learned a lot. But I also think that they're very biased. Everybody's very biased. It's not just vegans. It's the paleos. It's the gluten-frees. It's the dairy-free. It's the high-fat, the keto. Everybody is in their camp, and it's like politics. It's like the election. It's like you were Hillary or Trump. There was no gray line in the middle where you could kind of like, you know, you can kind of like see a little bit of the other side. No, not at all. Not at all. Empathy no longer exists. And it died on YouTube. And these YouTubers, man, like I said, like, but they'll make the good videos, but then if they say something wrong, it's like the other YouTuber will go after them, you know, and usually it's because of one vegan YouTuber saying something about another vegan YouTuber, and then it's like the whole community kind of weighs in, and it's a huge controversy. You know, like last year, I followed this story about, and this is what kind of like drew me into the scene, you know, this story between these two guys, Vegan Gains, who's one of the first vegan YouTubers that I got into. Like this, you know, he's like a kid in his 20s. He's a bodybuilder. Or he's like trying to be a bodybuilder, and he's in, you know, he makes these YouTube videos that are very, very, I don't even know what's the word, like polarizing or very abrasive, very aggressive for sure. You know, he started off, he's making videos about like wanting to kill babies because he hates babies so much. He wants to, I mean, he's very, like, he's got a gun that he pretends to shoot people with and shoot himself with, and he does characters, which, you know, I gotta give him credit for going for it. He, you know, he's just kind of like, if you don't see the world the way he sees it, it's like you should fucking die. You know, if you have the audacity to consume any capacity of animal product, whether it's anything from a steak to like shoes with leather, not even fully made of leather, but just like have leather on them. And then he'll do stuff and you're like, man, you're a fucking hypocrite. So I got into him through this, or when I first started watching YouTube. I think he might have been just one of the first that popped up on the YouTube algorithm. They suggested him to me. And then from there, I kind of got into all the other vegan YouTubers, Unnatural Vegan, Happy Healthy Vegan, Fully Raw Christina. You know, I got into all of it. And I mean, I was really impressed at like how much work these people put into their videos. One dude I got to give a shout out to, Vegetable Police. That's one of my favorite channels on all of YouTube. Doesn't get the love. He's got like 46,000, almost 50,000 subscribers. He's doing good on YouTube, but he's not like, his videos get like 6,000. He also puts like a video out a day, and they're very well done. But so I got drawn into vegan YouTube when Vegan Gains started calling out this dude Vegan Cheetah. So Vegan Cheetah is this kid in his late 20s. He's got like crazy blonde hair, and he's got this channel called, well, his name is the Vegan Cheetah, and his channel, it's like all about the drama in the vegan community. So all the drama that I'm telling you about right now, that is like my problem with the whole thing, he has a whole show. It's like a TMZ for the vegan YouTube, and it was interesting because it was like, you know, talking about things I didn't know, you know, exposed some people, and, you know, everyone got mad. He got hated. He got ostracized from the community. Then Vegan Gains started calling him out because Vegan Cheetah was calling out this other lady. Oh God, what's her name? Bite Size Vegan. Bite Size Vegan. Emily from Bite Size Vegan. And Vegan Cheetah was doing a whole vegan drama video on her. And Vegan Gains, like, you know, the knight in shining armor that he is, comes to Bite Size Vegan's rescue, and he's like, hey man, you shouldn't be saying that stuff. And they started going back and forth, like exposing more and more stuff about each other, how, you know, Vegan Cheetah had to explain that, you know, like Vegan Gains was like, you're fucked up for going after Bite Size Vegan, and Vegan Cheetah started getting a lot of backlash from the community. And he was like, he's like, look, man, you know, like, you know, this whole vegan thing is just out of control, you know? These might have been two separate things, but this is another reason why Vegan Gains hated Vegan Cheetah. Because Vegan Cheetah was like, he's like, dude, like, sometimes I like to eat, like, an egg in my salad or something. It was definitely something else. He's like, sometimes I like to have, like, a little bit of bacon, you know? Like a little thing of bacon or something. And Vegan Gains was like, that's bullshit. This guy calls himself the Vegan Cheetah. He's not the Vegan Cheetah. He's not even vegan. He's not even a cheetah. This guy's full of shit. And so Vegan Cheetah's like trying to defend himself. And let me tell you something, dude. I sided with Vegan Gains on the whole thing. Because I was like indoctrinated into I drank the Kool-Aid. I drank the vegan YouTube scene Kool-Aid. I was like, man, if we're vegans, we're in this together. And this is like when I was like my you know, my douchebag new vegan days. When the first 6 months you're a vegan, it's like you are at your most douchiest. You telling everybody, it's coming into every social media argument, it's coming into every discussion. It's making things uncomfortable for everyone around you all the time because you always got to talk about being a vegan. It's very true. And then when you get a little bit more into it, you're like, all right, you kind of like lay off. You're like, all right, I don't want to. So it's like a dual thing. It's like, you know, you spend a lot of time talking about how you're a vegan, but then you also spend a lot of time not saying anything because it gets so weird when you say you're a vegan. And it's like when you start a comedy. Like when I started comedy, it was like the first year I was like, I want to tell everyone I'm a comedian. And then after that, I didn't want to tell anybody ever I was a comedian because it just makes the conversations uncomfortable. It's the same thing when you're a vegan. And so vegan, you know, Vegan Gains going after Vegan Cheetah. And then for the most part, I really believe Vegan Gains just broke Vegan Cheetah's spirit. Because Vegan Cheetah just disappeared off YouTube. He had these weird phases. He was like doing this thing where he was like, you know, he was like trying to talk about politics and like real news, and he's a Trump supporter. People didn't like him for that, and he kind of like doubled down on that. And you know, had some issues. Just kind of became unlikable a little bit. Had like a girlfriend on his thing. People were kind of hot and cold with, and then disappeared. Now he's back. Whatever. So he's getting back into the vegan scene, which I think is great because the vegan scene, the vegan YouTube scene, is overall just so full of itself. It's like when What the Health came out, if you could understand the level of panic that was happening around the I shouldn't say panic, but more kind of like getting the defense forces, you know, on guard. Like they had to do a lot of work because people were coming after What the Health, you know, trying to expose it for being bullshit or whatever. It's not bullshit. I mean, all that stuff is true. You know, it's whether or not you see it to what degree of urgency. I mean, all this stuff they lay out in What the Health is true. It's, you know, the meat and dairy industry is the biggest cause of the rise of, you know, and cost of healthcare. Is the reason why everybody's sick. It 100% is. All the science is there. All the information is there. And I know, yeah, sugar, everyone has their thing about sugar, and I'm kind of going back and forth. I'm starting to kind of backtrack a little bit on the whole sugar thing. I don't know. I'm figuring it out. But I do know, when What the Health, when it came out, was just saying stuff that vegans already knew. I had been vegan by that point for about a year now, and when that movie came out. And all the stuff they were talking about, I knew that stuff already. That was the stuff that got me into being a vegan. I learned that stuff a long time ago. And then everybody had to debate it, and and then all the vegans come out, and that sparked them that you got to be in defense of What the Health. And what got me into veganism was the movie before What the Health, Cowspiracy, done by the same guy, Kip and somebody else. I think his brother or something. I don't know Kip's last name. Kip the Dip. Probably not that. But that's how I got into veganism. I saw Cowspiracy and I was like, yo, what? Word? All that shit to make a burger. Yeah, that's what got me into it. All the water, all that stuff, man. If you haven't seen Cowspiracy, watch Cowspiracy, dude. I'm not saying you have to watch to become a vegan. I'm just saying watch it. Let your mind be open. Watch it. But I thought What the Health was fine, and there was a lot of backlash for it, and the vegan community latched onto it. And now it's like, it's so defensive. It's so polarized now. It's like there's vegan YouTubers who are coming out and they're like, I don't want to be vegan anymore. Whatever that means, Like, I don't know if people just go back full throttle on the animal products when you go from vegan to being not vegan anymore, Like, I'm technically not a vegan. I'm like 98% vegan. But then there's just times where I'm not vegan, Like, sometimes I'll have a little fish. Sometimes I'll have a little butter. Sometimes I'll have a little bone broth. Dude, I had ground beef for the first time in, I'd probably say 2 years or so, like a month ago. And it was interesting. But it's not like I'm like going full bore on just downing meat. Now, I hear there's a lot of stories of people who are doing that now, for the same reasons they went vegan, just in the opposite direction. They've just heard that it's, all these different medical studies that come out that say the benefits of health, but what's the validity of all that? How does that stack up against the vegan science? It's a whole other thing. But at the same time, I think most people, not the extremes, but most people understand that the vegan principles, eat more vegetables, whole foods, I think most people are into that. Most people don't want to just eat McDonald's. Even though when they say they do, they don't. They don't, man. There's no way to eat McDonald's and not feel sad afterwards. It's physically impossible. The food goes in your body. It shoots your insulin up. It inflames your gut. You're not going to make as much serotonin. It 100%... There's no way to feel happy after McDonald's. Those arches are a bunch of bullshit. Good thing they are upside down, because they're making fucking frowny faces. Sad. Nobody's happy at McDonald's. Get the fuck out of here. But when you eat vegan, when you eat good vegan, there's junk food vegan for sure. When you eat vegan, you feel better. You totally feel better, because the principles are great. And that's why I do it. And I actually genuinely enjoy the food. It's not vegan food to me. It's just eating just a lot of vegetables. Plant-based. That's what I like to do. I'm plant-based. I like that. I feel like that's more user-friendly to people. Especially considering, come on, man, Like, not everybody watched What the Health and was like, I gotta go vegan. It was actually shocking to me to see how many people did that, how many people watched What the Health and then went vegan, or at least try to go more vegan. But, to have this like militant vegan thing, it doesn't do any good. It's like, look, you just allow people to kind of incrementally go more plant-based. You know, you don't make people feel bad for eating a burger. They'll feel bad themselves if you genuinely understand that the supply chain to get the burger to your mouth. To just understand, forget the health, forget about you. Think about the supply chain. Think about if you're eating a burger or if you're eating any kind of ground beef. Think about how that ground beef started, its beginnings. Start off as a little baby cow that was taken away from its mother when it was first born so that the dairy farmers could collect the milk out of the mama cow's teat. So this baby cow gets put in a little cage that's basically its same exact size and then lives in that thing until the day they walk it out to the truck. And that walk it takes to the truck to go to the slaughterhouse, that's where it's going, the slaughterhouse. Spoiler alert, baby cow or cows going to the slaughterhouse. And that walk from the cage to the truck to go to the slaughterhouse, and then the walk from the truck into the slaughterhouse, that's the most movement that cow is going to do. It's in its entire life. The time that it's in the cage, it's just fed fucking GMO corn, GMO soy, GMO grains. The grass-fed ones are fed a little bit of grass or kale or whatever. And then they walk it out. Oh, and they're prodding it. They're cutting its balls off. They're shooting it up with, I don't know if they're actually shooting up the cows. I think in some instances they do. But they're definitely putting antibiotics and all this stuff in the cow feed. And then, they're fattening the cow up, and then they send it to the slaughterhouse, and then it dies. And then, and by the way, while the cow was living there, the amount of water it took to feed, to basically keep that cow alive every day is just monumental. I don't know if it's tens of gallons, hundreds of gallons of water. I think the number is to make a quarter pounder, it's like 80 something gallons of water. Just some astronomical number. Astronomical. And then you got to transport the cow all around. So you got to get it on trucks, the meat's got to get from wherever it's packaged to faraway places. They don't package meat, around local municipalities. It's all done in centralized locations. So, I mean, that's where the statistic by the the UN comes out, where it's the animal agriculture industry is the biggest polluter of any other sector, of the transportation sector at least, combined. Planes, automobiles, trains, fucking motorcycles, electric skateboards, whatever. More greenhouse gases from the animal agriculture industry than the entire transportation district combined. You also get the cows while they're alive, you get the methane, the cow farts, which are just more toxic to the atmosphere than the oil being burned to get the fucking animals transported in the first place. So when you eat meat, you don't have to make fucking people who eat animal products feel guilty. You just have to remind them of the supply chain. And I think once those people get enough of those like well done documentaries, professionally done, speakers, maybe they see a TED Talk, whatever it is, or good quality YouTube channels, then I think they do start to get that impression. If like Logan Paul was like, and Jake Paul, if the two of them were like, we're gonna go vegan, and then they explained all the stuff I just explained to you, millions of people would go vegan. But when vegans are just yelling at people to go vegan, it just doesn't work, dude. But you're building your army for sure. People are rallying around you. It's the Trump effect. People are attracted to crazy. So all these people I just named off, they all have their audiences. And we're talking, for some of them, hundreds of thousands of people. You know, Vegan Gains is getting close to 1 million. Unnatural Vegan, she gets fucking tens of thousands of views on her channel. But, you know, me, like, I don't do the vegan YouTube stuff anymore. I do my own videos. This is my main hustle, this podcast. Even though I do love making YouTube videos, and I'm not gonna stop making YouTube videos. I'm just not. I just get. So the reason I'm talking about this, I should have maybe even started the podcast off with this, was the whole thing with this lady going and shooting up YouTube made me think about vegan YouTubers and how just batshit crazy so many YouTubers, not just vegan YouTubers, but YouTubers in general. You know, some YouTube channels I think are very professional. They have strong opinions, which is what you want out of YouTube. I think the beauty of YouTube is the freedom to see just the entire spectrum of creativity. And but lately, because of Trump winning the election, they've hit the fucking censors hard. They hired like 10,000 people from the what is it? The Southern Ministry of something. Truth, I think, or Southern Baptist Ministry, or something crazy. But it's like 10,000, like essentially neoliberal fucking people or whatever. You know, just like quote unquote progressive, politically correct, you know, fucking liberal idiots to go through YouTube and scrub it and make sure that there's no hate speech, which is basically code for conservative speech, and make sure there's no hate speech on YouTube. And it's frustrating. They've censored a lot of people. Advertisers are leaving. And fuck the advertisers, man. Their money is fucking strong, but it's not going to be strong. Their brands are dying. All the big brands are dying. They don't have no ability to innovate like smaller entrepreneurs. Smaller companies are taking over every market. And they're the ones who are going to buy the ad space. But YouTube has to bend over backwards to make these people happy because it's money. They're stupid. They're Google. They're just, you know, it's new money but old ideas. And, you know, but it's driving YouTubers crazy because people's pages are getting demonetized. A lot of people don't know why. You're dealing with a big bureaucracy, and they give you some excuses that are just generic and horseshit. Tragic. It's like when you ride the subway in New York and then, you know, it stops for no reason for like 5 minutes, and then the conductor comes on and is like, we're being held for a sick passenger, or we're being held for train traffic, or we're being held for a signal. Those are the 3 excuses you get, and you're like, no, this is all none of this is right. That's what all that is, man. Yeah. So people are just getting frustrated. Creators are just getting frustrated on YouTube. And this girl goes in and just, I mean, nobody should get that frustrated. Nobody should feel like that. And I mean, this person's obviously a whack job, and apparently the parents warned, I guess, police officials. And here's the other thing, man. When it was first going down, before they identified this Iranian lady, it was all the news assumed it was just some white fucking Trump supporter, which is just wrong. It's just wrong that they do that. I don't know if they genuinely hate Trump supporters or if they're just so desperate to get something out there that makes it look like they have the control. Like they were just banking on it, just being like just a fucking pissed off white Trump supporter, coal miner who's sick of YouTube, neoliberal cucks, just went in with a gun and shot people up. And then it turned out to be an Iranian lady. And man, did that just, it must have been awkward at, you know, CBS and all these places. But I would never say I understand why this lady did that. That's not what I'm saying at all. Because to go in with a gun and try to kill people, that's just a level of batshit crazy that I'll never understand. But I do see people losing their channels, man. And their entire income is tied into YouTube. And I know, coming from like a business perspective, that's not the best business move to have all your eggs in one basket, especially YouTube, as flaky as YouTube is. But at the same time, dude, like YouTube, stop fucking with people's livelihood. Don't give it and then take it away, which is what they're doing. They want you to be this very specific thing, and if you're not that thing, you can't make money on YouTube anymore. And they're shutting down YouTube channels for no reason. Many of them are conservative. This lady was, who knows? I don't know. I can't see her videos. I've never seen her videos. But YouTube just demonetized her. And, I don't know how this ties into the vegan YouTube scene, but I just find YouTube to be a very interesting place. It's a very interesting culture. And I do like exploring it. I do like to use it for other purposes other than being a YouTuber. It just looks like nothing, even though there's a lot of money in it if you can ascend to the top, which is like winning the lottery. It's not like it used to be. A couple years ago, yeah, I think it was much easier. 3-4 years ago, it was definitely easier if you had like a very specific thing on YouTube. Now every market is saturated and everybody's fucking crazy. And the only thing that gets views is crazy. That's it. You don't have to have talent. There's a kid selling fucking toys making $11 million a year. He's reviewing toys on his YouTube channel. $11 million a year, bro. That's the crazy thing. And that's why people get so tied into YouTube. That's why they're so territorial with it, so protective of it. Because they're in some instances there was a lot of money at stake. So, yeah, man, just stop. Please stop going and like being crazy and shooting people. Like, we don't have to have that anymore. I don't think the guns are going anywhere, but like people just have to stop getting their hands on guns who have no business having guns and shooting people. There's just, no matter how angry you get or how fucked up you are, just stop it, man. Fucking stop it. But just stop it, dude. And stop, vegan YouTubers. Stop being so goddamn polarizing. Stop being so fucking... Make your shit appealing and not so... not so bossy and like derogatory towards people. I don't know. Whatever. What do you think? You think vegan YouTubers are too much? Are you a vegan YouTuber? I've learned a lot on vegan YouTube, I will say that. But look, definitely check out all the people's channels who I mentioned. Decide for yourself, definitely. And hey, no, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you watch that stuff and you're like, that makes me want to go vegan. Everyone has their own flavor, for sure. So we're going to end it there. Thank you for listening. Again, go on to iTunes, leave the podcast a 5-star review because it helps me get this podcast higher in the iTunes ranking so it can get more exposure, so we can get this message out to more people. It takes a minute to do. Subscribe to the channel, and then go check out my other social media, the YouTube page, Holistic A-Hole, Instagram at holistic_A_hole, Twitter at Holistic A-Hole, and Facebook, Holistic A-Hole. Thank you for listening. Enjoy your weekend. Check out the videos on YouTube, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.